Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff, thank you so much for joining me. And you have some exciting news to share. So let's just start with this Agentforce 2.0. We already know you have this AI agent. So what are the enhanced features we can expect from this second iteration?
Well, this is the most exciting thing I've ever worked on, really, in my entire career, which is the idea that humans with agents are driving customer success together. And we started talking about this at our Dreamforce conference a couple of months ago. Now our Salesforce, our COO, Brian, just told me in the event that we've signed more than 1,000 contracts with customers to deploy. But probably the most exciting deployment, Annmarie, is that Salesforce has this up and running for our customers. Help.salesforce.com is live on Agentforce as of today. And so we have thousands of agents working with thousands of customers, working in hand with thousands of our human support agents, resolving customer success. And we've dramatically reduced the number of cases that we have to escalate to humans. It's an incredible moment.
So you have also a number of customers in vastly different industries using this technology. Adecco versus Saks. How are they each adapting it to their business use case?
Well, you're right. I think companies in every single industry have started to deploy this technology because, look, the human workforce is quite stagnant and everybody wants growth. So by providing digital labor, we're able to grow these companies in entirely new ways. This is a big thought, and you're right. Saks or a company like Adecco or Disney or Wiley or RBC Bank, all of these companies have the ability now to augment their employees, their human employees, with digital workers. And this is an incredible moment where we can begin to see a partnership between human labor and digital labor. It's going to deliver a much lower cost, much easier to use, and also much higher levels of accuracy and very low hallucinogens in the AI layer.
A lot of this is being pitched as being able to save labor costs, needing less employees. Are you finding ways to do that within Salesforce itself?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, now that we have, I'll give you an example. We do about 35,000 customer support inquiries every single week on help.salesforce.com. And before the agentic layer was in place, or before Agentforce was in place, well, I would say about 60% of those were able to be resolved by the computer, it's software, and 40% then was handled by our thousands of support agents. Well, our accuracy has gone up to over 83% of all of our inquiries are now resolved automatically by Agentforce. And only 5,000 inquiries a week are being handled by humans. So that is a big advancements in technology and its ability to deliver an accurate response at the AI layer that's able to let me do new things and rebalance that entire workforce.
Incredibly more efficient, but does this mean there's going to be less employees? For a lot of companies, including Salesforce, does this mean layoffs?
For me, what this means is growth. I can rebalance my support expense into my revenue expense. And many of these same employees who are currently working in support can be business development representatives, sales development representatives, account executives, even solution engineers. It's an incredible opportunity for me to close more deals and to be more customer facing. Of course, I have an obligation to resolve every customer support issue. And up to this point, that meant I needed thousands and thousands of customer support engineers. Today, I need less.
When will the AI dollars start to flow in? So not just from Data Cloud, but actually from AI Agent.
Well, today, Salesforce is already the largest enterprise AI provider in the world. We'll do 2 trillion transactions on what we call our Einstein platform this week alone. And of course, that's been an incremental growth over the last 10 years of Einstein being available. Now, when we talk about Agentforce, it's another extension of that, where we're able to actually resolve these customer interactions using this agent platform. That's a big shift forward. Now, let me give you an example. There's an incredible bookseller called Wiley. We've been working with them for more than a decade. And this time of the year, back to school, that's when they usually extend and augment their human workforce in sales and service to handle their demands. You could even imagine that for a lot of retailers coming up for Christmas. But this year they don't have to. Instead, they can use Agentforce, which is a unlimited workforce, the ability to extend their sales and service in incredibly new places. Or another company that we have already on it called Remarkable, you can go to their website and see our Agentforce running, resolving customer support issues. As they scale as this new company doing this next generation iPad, they have the ability to grow without hiring more support engineers. And it's true for Salesforce as well. We're a little startup ourselves with 75,000 people and 38 billion in revenue this year. We're able to rebalance our support engineers. So this is a moment where digital labor can make all of us much lower cost and much easier to interoperate with our customers.
You said in a recent piece in Time magazine that, quote, technology itself is neither good nor bad. What matters is how we use it. You obviously know all the concerns around AI, how it could displace workers. Obviously, it'd be very efficient, but it could displace workers to even maybe aiding adversaries, more nefarious actions. How do you envision regulators, Washington, policymakers, making sure that it is used for good, in good use cases?
Well, you're right. Technology has never been good or bad. It's how you use the technology that matters. And this isn't the first time a technology tool has made human beings more productive, but it is one that does seem to really dramatically impact human productivity almost immediately. You can see in the third quarter, GDP grew, but the human workforce did not grow. And economists are saying that the dramatic advancements in the last 2 years in AI have given us all just a little bit more productivity, and it showed up in the third quarter GDP. That idea that we can start to use agents and AI to extend our workforces with not just human workers, but also digital workers, this is an incredible opportunity. And yes, you're right, there's gonna have to be guardrails, and that's built into our platform so that you as an employer, you have to build the trust into the agent because that agent is working with your customer. And all of those aspects of that interaction are gonna have to be governed. And that's also built directly into our platform.
I know the Trump administration, incoming administration, thinking about this. The Biden administration was also thinking about this. They had a task force. Time recently named Trump Person of the Year. Have you spoken or met yet with the president-elect?
Well, I think you know that when I bought Time magazine, I said that I wouldn't endorse any political candidate, and I stopped all funding of all political candidates. But I think you also know that this week, Time magazine did say that President Trump is our Person of the Year, and I couldn't be more excited about that. I mean, everything you've seen from the story, from the cover to the story itself, it's the biggest story we've ever done in the history of Time. And this really speaks to a moment, I believe, in the political landscape where we really have to have a beginner's mind that every possibility is ahead of us. And I think it's only in the expert's mind that we realize that we might have the constraints that we need to kind of put aside. So I'm excited for the future. I hope that agents and AI are a critical part of achieving the next level of efficiency and capability inside not only our government, but every government. And I believe very strongly that we need to use these kinds of technologies to achieve a balanced budget, which I think is a bipartisan issue that all of us can agree on.
Yes, it is. They're looking to Dogeify the government, bring experienced industry people in that work with AI and crypto. Would you consider working alongside the administration if they asked you to maybe join something like a task force?
Well, I don't really have the ability to answer that because nothing has been proposed to me, except I'm highly conflicted as a media owner, and it makes it incredibly difficult for me to operate in an administration. Administrations change, but at Salesforce, we believe strongly our values don't change, and we're mostly focused on operating our business. That said, when governments and presidents ask us to help them to make their countries more effective, more efficient, and more capable, especially in regards to artificial intelligence, we will always say yes.
Well, there are reports out there, now you've led me to this, that maybe you're even looking at selling Time magazine. So say you did sell Time magazine. You can comment on whether or not those reports are true. would you consider offering up all your expertise in efficiency to the DOGE task force and to the incoming administration?
Listen, I think that every American should do whatever they can to make America successful, and every American should do whatever they can to make the President of the United States successful. This is, of course, our country and our leadership team. So if called on, I would do whatever I can to support them. But the reality is there is no deal on the table to sell time. And it's extremely important that we do have fair and balanced journalism. And that's why I'm very proud to be an owner of Time Magazine.
Do you feel like, given how Elon Musk has basically become the self-buddy, self-proclaimed, he has a lot of proximity to power, do you feel like you or maybe either some of your other peers in Silicon Valley are at a competitive disadvantage? Or do you think that the market will make sure that they're still the ones picking winners and losers, not the state?
Listen, I think every American should do whatever they can to make our country successful. And I think that that is a great thing, what he's doing. And I think that we should all be doing whatever we can. Look, I can only do some things. I can't do everything. And I'm sure that everybody feels that way. So we have to find the one or two things that we can do to make the world better, to improve the state of the world, to improve our country. That's what's incredibly important. Here in San Francisco, I've worked, for example, to improve our public hospitals, our public parks. I've also worked hard to work on our public education system. These things are incredibly important to me. All of us have to know what we can do to give back. And at Salesforce, we had an incredible idea, which was 20 years ago, we took 1% of our equity, 1% of our profit, and 1% of our employees' time and put it into a foundation. It was very easy because we didn't have any equity, people, or time. But now we've given away more than $1 billion. We've done 10 million hours of volunteerism. We run 100,000 nonprofits and NGOs for free on our platform. So look, we all have to do something, and we have to find what we know how to do and do that.
Okay, so if I could just end with something one more time, if I can ask you, just because a lot of your peers are making these trips to Mar-a-Lago, have you spoken or plan on speaking with the president-elect?
Listen, I can't comment on my conversations, and because like you, I'm a member of the media, I'm highly conflicted in actually telling you about what our conversations are. But what I will say to you is I'm not going to pick any political candidate or align with any one political party. You probably know I worked in the George W. Bush administration as the chairman of the PTAC. I have served my country. I'll always serve my country in any way that I'm ever asked to. But right now, the most important thing that I can do is deliver an incredible new Agentforce platform to help our customers have much lower cost, much easier to use information technology, and to deliver this digital labor vision for not only the commercial customers, but for the federal customers as well.
Do you think Agentforce would be useful in Congress or one of the government agencies?
Absolutely, in every agency.
Do you think that's the next big hurdle after companies? It's going to be bureaucracies?
I think anywhere where there's a high level of bureaucracy or a political layer, Agentforce will help those organizations reduce their costs and become more efficient.